The value that I've been seeing today has been, well, I felt like a sponge, just trying to take it all in. So it's my first interaction with the PE executives, with the PE groups, and it's been really interesting to hear their perspectives, what they're looking for. It all comes back to people that can bring them deals. You hear that loud and clear over and over again. But also what has been encouraging to me is hearing what they are looking for in terms of executives that they can partner with, either as a board member or as a full-time executive, a CEO, or as an operating partner. I hear more about board members in their dialogue than I hear about operating partner, which is encouraging to me, because ultimately that's what my goal is in the long term.
Why did you join the Bronze Plus membership?
The funnel, to increase the funnel, no doubt about that. To have the networking connections that I was not getting on my own. I've engaged with a coach that helps with networking. That I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy, and so you get to the third or fourth level of having coffee or lunch with people, and over that course of time, you're not really sure how deep you're getting. And in our market where I live, there aren't a lot of PE firms. So doing travel to try to get to these PE firms would just not make sense at all. I would never get that. I would never get that back. In terms of the investment, the personal investment, in terms of travel and time. Even just around my area in my city, going around and having coffee and lunch with numerous people, you don't really know if you're getting. If that next lunch is going to be with somebody that is really looking for somebody that wants to bring into their group, into their circle. So the article library has been helpful because it tells you the buzzwords, it tells you how to have the conversation. Personally, I haven't reached a point where that I'm going to be calling, or I haven't reached a point where I'm calling the acquisition targets. So I know that article or that library is out there that will help me with those calls. Haven't used that yet. It's been more about how does PE work, and why do I need to have an investment thesis, and what is the formula, or what's the format for the investment thesis. So it's been very helpful in that regard. It gave me all of the tools I needed to prepare for the conference. It gave me the bullet point list that I could just go through and check off. Yes, I've got this, and then still need to develop that. It gave me some pointers about how to have the conversation with the PE firms. And
why is that important?
So, well, I'm here in Chicago for 10 hours, so I need to make the most of that 10 hours. And I can tell you, there's no way I could cram more into this 10 hours than what's being done today. One of the key things that I picked up on today is that the deal, even though it doesn't have to be perfect, it needs to resonate with them. And so I need to, as I'm going through the conversations, I need to get their feedback on what works and what doesn't work. Like I said, this is my first one here, or my first time here, my first time to have these conversations. And so this has been really valuable just to have those, have the feedback. And I've gotten conflicting feedback from different firms. But that's okay. It means that firm A doesn't like the way this is put together, but firm B is really intrigued by it. So I think that I can take the feedback from firm A and firm B and come up with a better deal thesis. Objectives are, how do I justify the investment to become a Bronze Plus member? I justify it based off of what my objectives are. And my objectives are to partner with a PE firm or multiple PE firms, but to partner with a firm that I can have a relationship with them long term, that I would be part of their trusted circle to help them add value to their portfolio companies. So with that in mind, I know from my own experience trying to do it on my own that I was not going to accomplish that objective without coming to an event like this, without partnering with Blackmore Partners in getting those connections, setting up the conversations. Like I said earlier, driving around, trying to set up coffee and lunch, and it wasn't with the right people as well. So even though I might get a meeting, I might not be getting a meeting that's leading somewhere. I know we need to work on the deal thesis, so I'll get your feedback and give you some insight into what I've heard from the PE firms. And from their input and from your guidance, I know that we can develop a better deal thesis. I have several follow-up notes with the directors and the partners at the firms that I need to contact them about some specific opportunities, some add-on connections that I have. So in one of the conversations, I've heard about a recent acquisition that has some add-on potential that they're looking for, and I think I have some contacts in that specific area, so I can help them with that. I would like to, after this conference, I'd like to fine-tune my profile, how I present myself to the PE firms, and then I know that PitchBook will give me a list of firms that are good matches for the subject area of or the industry of my deal thesis, as well as my personal background.
Why is that important?
When I have those conversations, it's making a good impression, because most of the time if you blow it on the first call, you're probably not going to have many opportunities with those same people going forward unless something drastically changes. So it's important to have a successful first call. It's also important for me that my calls are targeted. For example, in my space, I probably wouldn't spend a whole lot of time talking to someone in the pharmaceuticals or biomedical industry, because it's not an area where I can add a whole lot of value. So that list of the target firms that I need to talk to needs to be trimmed down and targeted.
If you were to try to do that all in yourself, how many hours would it take? What would be the cost?
Well,
what do you learn?
they all list general areas of their interest, of their target companies. And so even though I could go through the websites, even of the 9 firms that are here, it took me a couple hours to go through the websites and glean through and learn as much as I could before these meetings today. Okay, so if I just started Google searching for private equity firms, it could take me 2 weeks to go through the first page of the hits. So the firms that are here are the real deal. They really are private equity firms, and they'll encourage you to check references to confirm that you're working with somebody that is the real deal. And the resources here with Blackmore have been very, very helpful. So the insight that you provided during the conversations have been right on target, and everybody, you can hear or you can see the PE firms nodding their heads when you're making a point about needing to have an investment thesis, or that investment thesis needing to be within this range of dollars, or don't depend on having the add-ons to make your thesis work. Everybody's nodding their heads in the right direction, so you can tell that the input that you're providing is on target. And Elena's input in the panels has been excellent, both as a moderator of the panels and as a participant in the panel. You can tell that her thoughts are really organized and on target, and providing really valuable insight from a couple of different perspectives.